are based and trusted, based and proud. This is ABC Big 2 News at 10.
Delays, shortages, and higher prices for materials this holiday season are forcing small manufacturers to find new sources. Not all of them are able to pass along those costs. Now, this supply chain crisis will likely affect your Christmas list. Good evening, I'm Rob Took.
And I'm Stephania Martinez. Tonight, shortages of popular toys are leading some parents to turn to unique shopping methods. ABC Deidre Bolton leads us tonight with that report.
It's one of the busiest shopping seasons of the year, and the clock is ticking to get some of those must-have gifts.
Parents go to any lengths to get their kids what they want for Christmas.
With the supply chain crunch and ships sitting off our coasts, some products are scarce, leading to more bot activity than ever.
These bots are so much faster than you and I are. And so if you've had this experience, if you're after something that's very popular and you've seen it in stock, you may have tried, you've gotten it into your cart, and then suddenly it's snatched away from you at the last minute. That is all these bots working.
And the price gouge on these resale products, not in the Christmas spirit. One collector sees the pricing pressure firsthand when looking for a special Pokemon anniversary item.
Retails for $120, and you'll see it on eBay for over $300, even $600 even. So it's insane.
The bots are fast, but you can use social media to stay one click ahead.
The reason why you have to use social media is because the key to buying these consoles is to knowing when the retailers restock.
You need to be early in the digital line to be ready. Experts say turn on push notifications for social media accounts that announce new item availability and releases. Another tip, join rewards or insider programs at a well-known retailer. They will fill your order as soon as possible.
Retailers are working very hard to give human beings their level shot.
The resale practices used by bots aren't illegal, but experts say buyer beware if thinking of purchasing with one.
If you buy a PlayStation through a bot, what happens if it breaks? You know, what are your return rights? How do you file a warranty claim? Think about those things as well.
That was Deidre Bolton reporting. Now, experts say not all stores are equally low on everything. Some may be more consistent in ordering stock far in advance, so the best advice is to shop around. Now, if you haven't gotten your tree yet, it's a good idea to get one right now. Well, according to the American Christmas Tree Association, people can expect to pay anywhere from 10 to 30% more.
It's about $600 to get it from central western Washington. The prices have gone up 36%, and there aren't enough drivers.
We'd even discussed the possibility of having a Christmas shrub or bush, but I'm actually surprised.
And that's not the only reason behind the price hike. The organization also says it's due to the summer heat wave hurting tree farms in the Pacific Northwest.
Now to a shocking sight this time of year, an area that should be covered in snow. A getaway for skiers is on fire in December. A miner's candle fire is forced some evacuations near Idaho Springs. The wildfire stands at 20 acres tonight.
Now, your Big 2 forecast first.
Well, friends, let's get into some weather fun. The weekend came and it went, but before it left us, it brought us some really great temperatures. Today, West Texans were able to enjoy 77-degree temperatures. Usually around this time in December, West Texans are definitely used to 61-degree temperatures, but today we actually came pretty close, just 2 degrees off of our record back in 1951 when we were sitting at a nice and steamy 79 degrees. Definitely not too bad whatsoever. Our lows as well did come in pretty warm, 43 degrees for our low. Again, nice and warm for today. I'll have more of the sunny forecast later on the show. Back over to you guys.
Thank you, Bridget. Now for an update tonight on Ireland Elementary School in Odessa. It's opening for school tomorrow after students were sent home early on Friday because of a strong gas smell. CISD says the school was checked for leaks, but none were found. It's also tested for carbon monoxide, but no issues were found. The district says schools leaders will stay on top of the situation.
And across Texas tonight, a vigil was held at 8 to honor a Mesquite police officer shot and killed in the line of duty. Police say on Friday, Officer Richard Houston was responding to a disturbance call in Mesquite. He was shot multiple times. Officer Houston was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Now, he was a 21-year veteran on the force and leaves behind a wife and 3 kids. Now, the suspect was shot too outside of the supermarket in the Dallas area. At this time, it's not clear what led up to the shooting or what the initial disturbance was. But meantime, the suspect remains in critical condition.
Developing tonight at 10, we're getting the latest on the Oxford Township High School shooting. The parents of the suspect, 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley, are now in the same Michigan jail as their son. And tonight, new details have been released on their arrest. Police say they withdrew thousands from the ATM. ABC's Trevor Alt has more.
This morning, James and Jennifer Crumbley, the parents of the accused Oxford High School shooter, each being held on $500,000 bond.
Good afternoon, please be seated.
The couple pleading not guilty to 4 counts each of involuntary manslaughter. Jennifer Crumbley fighting tears.
How are you pleading held for? Not guilty.
James Crumbley shaking his head at the prosecutor's accusations.
Your Honor, this is a very serious, horrible, terrible murder and shooting, and it has affected the entire community. And these 2 individuals could have stopped it.
Prosecutors called the Crumbleys a flight risk after the couple missed their arraignment Friday, saying they withdrew $4,000 from an ATM and were arrested after an hours-long manhunt led to them being found in an empty Detroit warehouse. But the couple's attorneys insist they weren't trying to flee.
But our clients were absolutely going to turn themselves in. It was just a matter of logistics.
They're now in the same jail as their son, who's pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and terrorism, but the family is not together.
No talking, no communication. They're all 3 in isolation.
Prosecutors say James Crumbley had his son with him as he bought the handgun on Black Friday that was later used in the rampage that left 4 students dead. And the school now addressing criticism of its actions leading up to the shooting. The prosecution alleges that morning a teacher reported a picture the suspect drew of a person appearing shot with disturbing phrases like blood everywhere and the world is dead. The Crumbleys were called in, but their son was sent back to class. The superintendent now saying in a statement the suspect claimed the drawing was part of a video game he was designing and informed counselors that he planned to pursue video game design as a career. Then, while waiting for his parents, the teen asked for his science homework, and at no time did counselors believe the student might harm others based on his behavior, responses, and demeanor, which appeared calm.
And the superintendent says the morning of the shooting, the Crumbleys flatly refused to take their son home. And given the fact that he had no prior disciplinary infractions, the school felt it was better to send him back to class than to send him home to an empty house. But having said that, the superintendent is now calling for a third-party investigation into the events that led up to this shooting. Trevor Alt, ABC News, Oakland County, Michigan.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. Tonight, U.S. investment bank Goldman Sachs revised down its forecast for U.S. economic growth this year and next year due to the uncertainty created by the COVID-19 OMICRON variant. Now, the variant could aggravate supply chain tensions and labor shortages, even pushing up inflation in the United States. And cases here in the U.S. have hit their highest daily average in 2 months.
ABC's Ellen Lopez is in Atlanta tonight with new details about the Omicron containment.
This morning, Omicron making its way across the country as health officials race to learn more about this new variant.
We have been saying it's not a matter of if, but when, that we would find Omicron in our state, and that when is today.
From Washington State to New York, where officials there have identified at least 8 cases. Omicron now in at least 16 states. Early data suggest Omicron may be spreading twice as quickly as the Delta variant in South Africa. Still, it is the Delta variant that continues to drive the bulk of this winter surge.
The next few weeks will be critical in determining how this variant spreads compared to Delta.
The U.S. now averaging more than 96,000 new cases a day, the highest in nearly 2 months. The Midwest and Northeast seeing the greatest jump in new infections and hospitalizations, with colder weather sending more people indoors. Frontline workers in Michigan, where only 11% of ICU beds are available, are now sounding the alarm.
And our teams right now are caring for more patients than I have ever had on our ICU teams.
And in Rochester, New York, more than a dozen National Guard members called in to help just a day after a state of emergency was declared to boost hospital staffing.
So for us, we did have challenges. We're asking staff to really push themselves.
Booster shots in high demand as some clinics across the country see long lines of people ready for that extra jab of protection.
I think everyone's just wanting to be more protected.
And starting Monday, anyone coming into the U.S. must show proof of a negative COVID-19 test 24 hours before departure, and that does include U.S. citizens.
Coming up after the break, we remember the life of Bob Dole, a World War II hero who later transformed the Republican Party.
And well, friends, temperatures have been above normal since the start of December. Now, will this new week's temperatures start to feel like winter? I'll have the answer after the break.
Also coming up, building another championship roster. We'll look back at the open tryouts for the West Texas Warbirds. Stay with us.
Jeopardy! Is 3 games in a row enough for our new champ?
My brother-in-law at the time won 3 games, so I said I'm going to make sure and win 4.
This game is family bragging rights.
Next Jeopardy! We're your local weather authority. We warn you first. Our team is working around the clock to keep you and your family safe. What you need to know on ABC Big 2 News.
Kathy Eastham Fine Jewelry, celebrating 40 years of extraordinary jewelry.
It's Suddenlink's best holiday deal ever. Power all your new holiday devices with 1 gig internet for the low price of $49.99 a month. And as a treat, unwrap a $300 Visa prepaid card. HBO Max included on us for 1 year and a free Wi-Fi extender. Plus, get Suddenlink Stream with your favorite shows and streaming apps all in one device. But this deal ends December 5th. Get the speed and reliability of our fastest internet at our lowest price of the season. And with optimum flexibility from Suddenlink, there are no contracts or hidden fees. Visit suddenlink.com today.
There are so many reasons to give this holiday season, but they are the #1 reason we give back every year with your help. Join Carpet Tech for our annual holiday toy drive benefiting Buckner Midland. When you give a toy, we'll give you a free room of carpet cleaning.
Help us give back this season. We'll pick up your donation and give you a free room of carpet cleaning with the purchase of another.
Schedule your BOGO carpet cleaning with your toy donation. Because we're the #1 reason.
What makes Best Reviews the best reviews?
Nope.
They have an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on pretty much everything. So you can be confident that whatever you're buying is right for you, no matter what life throws at it. Like your daughter Clementine, for example. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
From 1 to 101, celebrate your birthday with ABC Big 2 News, sponsored by Nothing Bundt Cakes. Every Friday, we'll share some of your birthdays. Just go to yourbasin.com to nominate someone special. Watch Good Morning Basin from 5 to 7 on ABC Big 2. ABC Big 2 Local Weather Authority Forecast. We warn you first with Chief Meteorologist Chase Menendez.
Well, friends, Chase is not here, but I am. And let's talk about some really nice and high temperatures. Taking a look at the entire basin, today's temperature is not bad whatsoever. Midland-Odessa, a high of 77 degrees, actually warmer than Presidio, sitting at 76 degrees, and they're usually nice and warm. But Big Spring came in high at 78, along with Seminole. They both are twinning. Definitely not too bad for the entire basin. But I do want to talk about today's temperatures. Today we came in pretty warm and actually pretty close to our record back in 1951. Today, a high of 77 degrees. Usually around this time in December, we're definitely used to 61-degree temperatures. And just like I said, we're definitely used to, 61-degree temperatures, but 79 degrees back in 1951. Definitely not too bad. Just 2 degrees off of today's temperatures. Not bad whatsoever. Taking a look at our lows, we did come in warm for that as well. 43 degrees for our lows. Usually around this time in December, we're definitely used to 35-degree temperatures. Many of us will say that we are having a very warm start to our winter. Not bad at all. Taking a look at tonight's temperatures, it's going to be very clear. We will be in our 30s, specifically 37 degrees. Not bad whatsoever. As we make our way into the start of our work week, that cloud cover is really just in Fort Stockton, Marfa, and in Dryden. But as we make our way into Monday, we're not going to see any cloud cover whatsoever going on in the basin. I mean, just a little bit in Alpine, a little bit in Dryden, but for the most part, for early risers, the sun is going to be out and it's going to be saying hello to us all. As we can see on with our Monday, that's when we're going to see that, you know, just a little bit of cloud cover going on in Marfa, Alpine, and in Dryden, but really the sun is going to come on out. So do be sure you have your shades, but you are going to want to, you know, bundle up just a little bit because we do have a cold front coming in. 8 a.m. we'll be sitting at 37 degrees. That sun's going to come on out. And then by noon, we'll be sitting at a very windy 48 degrees. Then by 4 p.m., a dry 49. Not bad at all. And then very similar to tonight, you know, being in our 30s at 39 degrees for tomorrow evening. Not bad at all. But speaking of that cold front, I'll show you where it's coming on in from the north. By the time we wake up for our early rises, we'll be sitting at 42 degrees in Midland and Odessa, 41 in Big Spring, 38 in Seminole, and then we're going to continue to see that cold front stick on with us as we get into close to dinner time throughout the basin. Everyone going to be in their 50s, the lower end of the 50 scale. But you know what? As we continue on with our week, we get into Tuesday 4 p.m. and then we warm back up to 74 degrees. So definitely not bad at all. But it is going to be windy, so ladies, do hold on to your lashes when you're getting your makeup done. By the time we're sitting at 6 a.m., we'll be sitting at 22 miles per hour in the basin, along with Big Spring, but not bad at all. We're going to continue to see that wind cover into midnight, and then we get into our Tuesday, and you know what, guys? That wind is going to disappear. But, you know, for our kiddos going to school, do remember, we're going to be in our 30s just a little bit, and tomorrow is going to start getting a little bit windy. We'll be sitting at 51 degrees, and you know what, guys? Rob and Stephania, that's when we warm back up into our 70s, back to that warm winter.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I can put on a sweater and take it off. You know, it's the best type of weather.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Bridget.
New at 10, the Capitol's flag was lowered to half-staff today to honor the life of Senator Bob Dole. The longtime senator from Kansas in 1996, Republican presidential nominee, died in his sleep this morning.
Yeah, he was 98 years old. And as ABC's Karen Travers reports, the life of the former GOP leader is being celebrated.
There's trying to win an election.
Robert J. Dole never won nationwide elected office, but he was one of the most recognizable and most powerful politicians of the 20th century. Born in a modest home in Russell, Kansas, July 22, 1923, Dole's young life was taken up with his family's Methodist church, the Boy Scouts, and athletics. But in 1943, his studies were interrupted by the Second World War. Assigned as a platoon leader, he saw action against German units in Italy early in 1945. A month into that conflict, he was seriously wounded. It was an experience he would write about years later.
For a long moment, I didn't know if I was dead or alive. I lay face down in the dirt, unable to feel my arms.
Dole was in and out of hospitals for 3 years, and he never regained the use of his right arm. After the war, he continued his education, attending law school at Washburn University in Topeka. 18 years later, he was elected to the U.S. Senate, where he would emerge as a powerful national figure. Americans got their first close look at the ambitious lawmaker in 1976, when President Gerald Ford chose him as his vice presidential running mate. Although the Ford-Dole ticket was unsuccessful in its bid for the White House, the senator eventually rose to become Senate Majority Leader in 1985. Dole's name became a standard in the race for the Republican nomination for president. He lost the nomination in 1980 to Ronald Reagan, missed it a second time in 1988, but he finally won the top spot on the Republican ticket in 1996. But running against an incumbent president, Bill Clinton, during a time of peace and prosperity, turned out to be an impossible obstacle. Reflecting on his own success and the injury that shaped his lifetime, the senator once said he hoped he could be an inspiration.
It's a message to all the people with disabilities. If you just hang in there, you're going to be able to cope with it.
Karen Travers, ABC News.
Well, Sports Director Ben Peck joins us tonight.
Big day for football, not just the normal kind.
No, although it was a busy day for the NFL as well. But if you want to find a championship franchise, you don't have to look any further than right here in the Basin. The West Texas Warbirds, a professional indoor football team, undefeated during their inaugural season, won every single game they played, and today they were looking to improve its roster even more so. They play inside, but the team was outside for open tryouts this afternoon. Warbirds looking for some talented and smart football players.
If they're able to play, if they're able to understand what a coach is telling them and translate and do that on the fly. Because a lot of times we have a short week, and sometimes it's 2, maybe 3 practices, and then we got to play. So with that being said, we're just looking to see anybody who has the athletic ability to play that could help us out and fill a role that we may need.
And how about we get to the NFL? Colts, Texans, Jonathan Taylor, he has been just on a tear lately. First quarter, very first play from scrimmage. It's actually going to be the defense for the Colts. Kenny Moore, the second, got that second foot down in bounds, and that is going to be an interception that stands for Indianapolis. They get the ball on Houston's 29-yard line. Ensuing possession, just taking advantage right from the jump. Taylor takes the direct snap, and he is into the end zone. 10th consecutive game with a rushing touchdown. Colts up 7-0 later on second quarter. Carson Wentz fakes the handoff, finds Ashton Doolin back of the end zone. 2-yard touchdown. He got the toe drag in there. Both feet in bounds. Colts go on to win this one 31-0 over Houston. And Kyler Murray back in action for the Arizona Cardinals. Their best team in the NFC missed 3 games with an ankle injury. Colt McCoy filling in his place, but didn't need him today. First quarter, 4th and 2, going for DeAndre Hopkins, and look at this grab. Initially ruled incomplete, but they have a look. 1-2, both feet in bounds. Touchdown, Cardinals up 7-0. Ensuing Arizona drive off an interception from the Bears. That last touchdown was set up by an interception as well. Kyler Murray goes into the end zone for a touchdown, 14-0 lead for Cliff Kingsbury's Arizona Cardinals. Later on, you know, Jakeem Grant, he played for Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech, scores a touchdown for the Chicago Bears, but they would come up short in this one, 33-22. Cardinals improve on their NFC best record. Now, while at Texas Tech, Jakeem Grant played in a few bowl games for the Red Raiders. Double T barely did capture bowl eligibility this season with 6 wins. That last one came on that 62-yard walk-off field goal against Iowa State. And what a bowl matchup we have here for the Red Raiders. Liberty Bowl against Mississippi State. Bulldogs coached by Mike Leach. My goodness, that game will be in Memphis on December 28th. And I know, obviously, things... good times for Mike Leach at Texas Tech, some rocky times. I know fans will be looking forward to that big time.
And I remember he was up at Washington State, right?
Up at Washington, yep, Washington State for a little bit. They went to Mississippi State, bringing the air raid to the SEC.
Yes, sir. All right, well, Ben, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, a popular holiday group is back in the spotlight tonight, just weeks after 4 of their members were killed in a holiday parade. Coming up tonight, the Dancing Grannies talk about how they're honoring those lives lost.
As we head to the break, a reminder that if you see news happening, share your videos, photos on social media with us. Make sure you use the hashtag ABCBig2News. And if you haven't done it yet, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We are ABC Big 2 News.
I need 3 garlic butter bacon burgers.
Coming right up.
Will someone grab me some more cheese? Keep that garlic butter coming.
Burger up.
Order up. Sonic garlic butter bacon burger.
Welcome to Morning in America. Thanks for
now more than ever, Americans are turning to a new news network.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Marnie Hughes.
News Nation is the fastest growing cable news network in the country. The programs, the reporters, giving you the facts without the spin, showing all perspectives. This is America's new home for unbiased news. This is News Nation. News for all America.
Are your schools and office buildings healthy?
I'm Daniel Shelton, CEO of PC Automated Controls.
more than 25 years, PC Automated has installed hundreds of smart energy solutions to create healthier schools and office buildings while saving our customers millions. Call us and get informed about how your school or office can be smart, healthy, energy-efficient building. PC Automated. Smarter buildings made simple. Get informed, get an assessment today, and call PC Automated.
Hi, honey. Oh, I missed you.
You just want to video call the kids.
Okay. Hush, little baby.
Don't say a word. But if slow upload speeds turn your good night call into an accidental horror movie,
Can you hear me?
just remember, you're not a bad mom. You just need better internet.
AT&T Fiber delivers faster upload speeds for more reliable video calls. Get AT&T Fiber, plan starting at $35 a month for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877, only AT&T.
I need 3 Fritos Chili Cheese Junior Wraps.
Adding Fritos. Order up.
Sonic Fritos Chili Cheese Junior Wrap.
Watch Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Beck from West Tex on Good Morning Basin.
Well, the Dancing Grannies made their first public appearance today in the week since 4 of their members were killed by a driver who sped into their parade route in Wisconsin.
Tonight's ABC's Courtney Salk spoke with surviving members who talked in their honor.
The Dancing Grannies, formed in 1984, are a staple in parades across southeast Wisconsin. They perform in 25 parades each year, but Saturday nights in Franklin was one of the most difficult.
We really decided that we needed to do this for them.
2 weeks ago, a driver plowed through the Waukesha Christmas parade, killing half of the Dancing Grannies.
We don't have enough to do a parade anymore because of the loss we've had, but we do have enough to walk in the parade and honor those who died.
The Franklin Christmas Parade marked the first one members would attend since the tragedy.
The other grannies will be looking down and enjoying the parades in their memory.
With linked arms and a deep breath, the group made their way past the crowd.
Bless you guys.
All the communities are rallying around us. I never would have thought.
And at the parade's end, a pink and purple sky let them know their late friends were there, cheering them on too.
I think they're happy where they are. I know they're spending Christmas with Jesus right now.
That was Courtney Sisk reporting. Well, this is one way to kick off the holiday season. This West Texas town is on the lookout for this person. All that and more right after the break.
EC Big 2 Sports, brought to you by Glasheen Valles and Interman Injury Lawyers.
Imagine your home connected. Reliable internet in every corner of your house. With Eero, you get smarter Wi-Fi to manage your devices, create family profiles, and 24/7 security. Enhance your home audio with Sonos speakers powered by Grande. Plus, they're Google Assistant activated. Get the most out of your service with internet that reaches everywhere. Fast speeds, endless possibilities. Get award-winning internet starting at 300 megs for only $30.99 a month. Imagine better with Grande.
The Village at Manor Park is a continued care retirement community that offers dozens of independent living floor plans. Plus, there are various levels of care if your needs are to change. At Manor Park, you'll find peace of mind and great amenities that will improve your quality of life. Yard care, trash pickup, and food service are just a few. Plus, Village South is complete. Live in a new home across from our community center. Manor Park. Live well and love where you live.
Shop Allen's Gallery this Christmas for the best selection and best prices in West Texas. Recliners, sofas, love seats, dining room tables, appliances, and so much more. Give the gift of a good night's sleep from Allen's Gallery, plus 12 months, no interest financing, and free delivery within 100 miles. We won't stop until the last delivery's done on Christmas Eve. Come see why we say, wow!
5 years ago, I reconnected with my estranged father, and that's just something I never ever thought could happen. But when he became a believer, he just had this insatiable appetite to learn the Bible, and he began to watch Dr. Stanley.
God
always blesses obedience without an exception.
He teaches in a way that it just makes sense. And I feel like that's the way our Heavenly Father would teach us.
Well, check this out tonight. A viewer shared this photo with us, thank you buddy, of their beautiful home in Midland in Legends Park on Candlestick Drive. They say they got the lights, a mailbox to drop off letters for Santa, and a photo prop booth on the weekends for your families to use. How cool is that? And over in Brewster County, the Christmas season started off with an unusual arrest. Sheriff Dotson was called to the Trans-Pecos Bank in Marathon. And that's where deputies found this suspicious person attempting to steal Christmas. They say he was grouchy, unpleasant, and acting a little rude. This Grinch was released with a warning.
At the Galleria Mall in Dallas, this indoor Christmas tree is being put together. It's the tallest indoor Christmas tree in the U.S. This time lapse shows the process of putting up a 95-foot indoor tree with 7,000 branches, 500,000 twinkle stars, and 110,000 ornaments. All of this took 2 days. After a year without celebrating their tradition, the first Samba train happened in Rio de Janeiro. People are celebrating National Samba Day, which takes place early December every year. They perform on the train usually with massive crowds. They did take safety precautions because of COVID-19. In Israel, the town of Bethlehem launched its Christmas market that's reviving the streets for this holiday season. Local kicked off the parade with Santa Claus, and dozens of local vendors took part in an open market. The biblical street is part of the Christians' pilgrimage route, where journey taken by Mary and Joseph during their trip to Bethlehem.
And coming up right after the break, Bridget will have one last look at the forecast. Stay tuned.
It's the ultimate boy band holiday party, and all your favorites are invited. Sing along to all the holiday classics.
This is a boy band holiday.
A very boy band holiday, Monday on ABC.
Merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. And sing joy to the world, sing joy.
Give your team and family a fond memory with a Christmas celebration at the MCM Grande Hotel and Fun Dome. Recognition will go a long way to boost morale. The MCM Grande offers space and value with decadent holiday buffets or our signature Mexican dishes. Guests will love our memorable decor and expandable dance floor. Dessert is unforgettable with 10 different options made by our own chef. Ask about affordable per-person pricing. MCM Grande Hotel and Fun Dome, the space and value you need.
MCM, brink and roll, right on to the front, rollin', hanging with your crew, letting the good times roll, and the music flow right through, rollin', oh, turning on the groove, you gotta go to the place that puts a smile on your face, it's MCM, brink and roll, right on to the front.
When the hands that do the fixing need fixing. When the hands that do the caring need caring. That's a job for O'Keeffe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream and guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keeffe's for healthy feet.
Well, friends, let's take one last look at that 7-day forecast. We're going to start it off tomorrow. I know this weekend was really good with temperatures, very warm winter, but we're going to start off tomorrow with a cold front coming into the basin. Monday morning for early risers, we'll be sitting at 42 degrees Midland, Odessa area, 41 in Big Spring, 38 degrees in Seminole. For our friends in Presidio, actually going to sit warm at 55 degrees. Now, we do have that cold front coming in, which is why that 7-day forecast does show that we'll be sitting at 51 degrees. It's also going to to be a windy kind of Monday, so ladies, hold on to those lashes because you're definitely going to need it. And then Rob and Stephanie, that's when we get into Tuesday throughout, and we're going to be back to where we were this past week, sitting in our 70s. Definitely not too bad whatsoever.
I'm looking forward to the upcoming work week, and I want to say thank you very much for watching us. This is the first time Stephania is joining us, and she will continue to do so on the weekends.
And thank you for having me. Now you guys will see my face as it becomes familiar on the weekends here going with Rob.
Well, that's all the time we have for news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next weekend.